All right, guys, it is Thursday, May 3rd. Welcome to Healthy Scratches. Frankie, YP, me, Julie, and of course the big breaking news is that Washington Capitals forward Tom Wilson has been suspended for 3 games for his illegal check to the head on Zach Acton-Reese, broke his jaw, gave him a concussion. I believe this is the right path. The NHL did the right thing.
Yeah, it's about time that Wilson got something handed down to him. I know that everyone says he was always flirting with the line of being dirty or being a hard-hitting player, and now we can definitively say that he does things that cross the line, and when he does them, he's going to get suspended for it. I'm really happy that the NHL finally stepped in and said, all right, like, this guy's a problem. We got to stop this guy from being a freight train on the ice. He can be the type of player he wants to be, but he can't be going after guys' heads all the time.
Yeah, I think this was somewhat of a Lifetime Achievement Award. I think it was definitely added in that he broke his jaw, shattered in a million pieces. I think that when you go back and look, I mean, our good friend Barstool Nate was spreading a little bit of fake news yesterday saying he'd never been suspended. He was suspended in the preseason, and then again 2 games later
First
for
of all,
4 games
we
of
didn't talk
regular
about
season time.
If you're getting suspended in the preseason, that means that you're the biggest dirtbag in the world. These guys are out
rookies that aren't even going to make the team.
Blowing up guys who are trying to make the team. You're playing a game where you're just trying to get your feet going. You're trying to, like, your team had just came together. You're not even in the regular season yet. And you're hitting guys so hard that the NHL is telling you that you cannot play anymore in the next few games.
And the thing isn't even in this series, too. It's the Brian Dumoulin hit is one that we talk about. Like, people said that maybe 1 game of this came from that as well. But he has been all over the ice. Like, you look at highlight reels of Tom Wilson, it's just him annihilating guys. And at this point in the season, this point in NHL, first of all, I kind of have a weird feeling with the NHL maybe using this as like a bit of good PR in their way of saying, all right, now we sort of care. We want to show everyone who's watching we care about head hits, concussions, all this kind of stuff.
All year somehow, some way, Wilson never went underneath the specs that they looked at. Somehow he always got away clean. He always had hearings, but they never could pin him down.
Other than the 2 times he did get suspended.
Other than the 2 times he did.
I will say this too, Frankie. I went back. Our good friend Barstool Nate, as I referred to earlier, was on radio and on the rundown saying he's not a dirty player, he's not a scumbag, all this stuff. So, Julie, I like to take the show seriously. I did a little bit of research last night, and I made a compilation of Tom Wilson hits. You can find it on my Twitter page, twitter.com. It turns out there's quite a few very scummy hits that results in head injuries.
Yes.
And after every single one of these hits, the guy's laying on the ice like this with like a concussion or like stumbling to stand up, and I was like, huh, like you said, so a lot of them you look back and like, well, that wasn't borderline. You go back and watch them in succession. He's done knee to knees. He's slew footing people, like very clear headshots. Like the one on Weinberg earlier this year kind of flew under the radar a little bit. I went back and watched. He just drills him in the head.
Shout out Lubomir Wisnowski.
Yeah, that's where this all came from earlier on in the series.
And also the Dumoulin hit I watched a lot more last night. The first couple times I see it, you see it in a highlight or something. You're like, well, it could have been this day. You go back and watch, he blatantly makes contact with his head like ricochets. I mean, he gets 3 games. Was it just for this hit? Who knows? But the guy has been making questionable hits towards people's heads for a while, and they don't want to have that in the game anymore.
So this is good. Daniel Carcillo was on Twitter being very vocal last night. You remember him being an enforcer in the league. Blackhawks, Kings, Coyotes. And, he has been very open about all this kind of stuff because we see head hits, concussions, enforcers dealing with this kind of stuff, then, drug use, pain medication, of course, guys fatally, tragically dying in the results of Derek Bugard and beyond. And so this is sort of like one of these things that is a part of a bigger issue in the sport. And you have to take it seriously.
And I agree too, a lot of people will see oh, this is just hard-nosed hockey, all stuff. Bro, I love people hitting. I love the physical aspect of the game. It's what keeps it better than a lot of sports. It's an element to it. But when you're continually giving people brain injuries, that's different than just drilling people, chest. Plenty of guys are hard-hitting guys in the league that make huge plays like this all the time, but you don't see them just targeting someone's head, and every single time guys laying on the ice.
When you can make a compilation video of times that the cart is coming out to help a guy get off the ice because of someone hitting
loading people on stretchers, and every time
it's time to have a conversation. So that's why I'm happy that at least we're talking about Tom Wilson being a dirty player. Maybe next time,
conversation going.
Maybe next time he's thinking about hitting someone when he can see his numbers and hit him against the glass and make a dirty play. He's gonna think, oh man, I'm gonna be a repeat offender. I may be out 10, 15, 20 games.
To that point, I saw 2 things. First of all, one thing that I noticed people saying as well is that a lot of these hits you're supposed to separate the man from the puck. That's pretty much the definition of why you're allowed to hit. A lot of these, the puck is either gone.
Yes.
A lot of them, it's fucking 10 feet away.
Shout out
nowhere near.
Yeah, but it's like, that's one thing. And a lot of them, it wasn't for that. It's to try and injure guys, which is a different type of hit than guys who are like rubbing someone out.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, no pun intended. And
Nice.
rubbing someone out just to get the puck away is different than trying to make sure this dude's head bounces off the glass. And the second thing, I've also had a few concussions, so this is very timely that I can't think of my other point.
That's okay. Do you want me to go on? You got it or no?
You go on, I'm going to think about it.
We'll
Tom
come back
Wilson,
to that.
how could you do this to him?
Oh, this is what I was going to say.
Okay, it's back. We're back.
No, I said this last night, and I've said it on our show many times. By no means am I being like, oh, I'm glad, or I wouldn't want him on my own team. I would love to play with Tom Wilson in my locker room, drilling guys and creating fear in another team. I see why he does it, but now he's going to get penalized for it. I'm having a mush brain right now.
Tom Wilson.
No, this is
Tom
a
Wilson
good,
giving people concussions.
description
This is
of what will happen.
what happens when you
Tom
do this.
Wilson, yeah, he's giving
Use
you
this as an
concussions.
example as to why we need to suspend guys like
YP.
Tom
We
Wilson.
need to suspend guys because YP
Dude's brain's
is
mush right
an
now.
example
It
of
really is, though. Like, it's not a joke. It sucks.
I know, I'm sorry.
It's a no-brainer.
My man.
You had that one waiting. All right, let's go to Jordy for the other side of this issue.
Well, you just absolutely hate to see this. Yesterday, the NHL Department of Player Safety, they hand down a 3-game suspension to Tom Wilson for his totally clean, not even borderline illegal hit to the head on Zach Aston Reese. Come the fuck on, guys. Anytime you have the opportunity to launch yourself up, target the head of an opposing player in a vulnerable position, break his jaw, give him a concussion instead of just driving through the body, you gotta take it. I mean, isn't that what playoff hockey is all about? This is the Stanley Cup playoffs, people. I mean, who actually gives a shit about massive head trauma or potential CTE? That's an issue for future Zach Aston Reese to worry about. That has nothing to do with Tom Wilson. I mean, so what if the guy's made a habit of being a predatory scumbag piece of shit in his 5-year NHL career so far? So what if every single time he touches the ice, he seems to be involved in one of these questionable hits? He's a good, honest player who's never once been suspended except for those couple times that he's been suspended before. It's just an absolute joke. And if you're happy that Tom Wilson got suspended for 3 games for breaking a guy's jaw and giving him a concussion, well then maybe you should be watching Ultimate Frisbee or something, because hockey clearly ain't the sport for you. And now the Washington Capitals, they have to worry about how are they going to survive without all of that offensive talent and skill that Tom Wilson brings to the game night in and night out. However will they go on?
All right, thanks so much, Jordy. Great stuff, as always. Another game that happened last night, of course. Vegas Golden Knights get shut out on the road. San Jose Sharks even up the series. Martin Jones, great performance, 34 saves. And the Sharks' penalty kill was absolutely perfect, which is pretty good too. But one of the highlights of the game was the anthem singer. As she was singing, this is sort of a new thing. I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys have seen this in the series so far, but when she sang the word night, they all booed because, of course, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Right.
And then the next line, instead of saying, you might have to help me out here as I'm obviously Canadian.
Oh, you don't know the national anthem?
No, I know it. I just can't recall exactly. I have to start from the beginning.
Kind of disrespectful.
No, like if we start from the beginning, I can get to it. So, Frankie, why don't you assist?
I'm trying to get to the middle. It's like when you have to like start.
And our flag was still there.
Okay, and our flag was still there.
She
and
said
then
like our
sword.
or stars or something.
No, she
Our
said
stars
sword.
were still
I
there.
think it was more stars, but she was
sounded like
rattled. I don't
sword.
think she knew.
Listen, it wasn't
obviously,
just
like,
a boo. It was like a jet turned on inside the place. I had never heard a boo. I mean, did they send out a notice to everyone?
I don't know.
Do you think like a couple sections had been doing it
Maybe.
the game before, and like, all right, like, and everyone started picking it
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Because how
Like
does the
fan
entire
forums.
goddamn stadium say, I can't chirp this girl for messing it up. When I heard
No.
that, I'm surprised she didn't shit her pants. I think
Yeah.
she may have shit her pants. When you're singing that song and you hear a boo that loud in the middle of your song, you don't think that everyone.
You're not used
like,
to
what are you
it.
supposed to think?
I mean, she should be a diehard Sharks fan that knows it's coming.
Yeah.
They should get someone
I'm
like.
surprised they didn't have that intel. Just like, hey,
Right.
whoa, we're hearing that people are doing this. They did it last game,
Like
maybe.
wear a diaper or something in case you shit your pants when they boo you.
But this also reminds you, of course, like the Winnipeg Jets have branded the Canadian national anthem with the True North.
Never. I don't know.
So in the, the line
A lot
True
of teams
North.
do this stuff though. They do
strong
it
and
like
free.
when who does it with the red? Don't the Blues do it too?
Yeah, at the end, kind of.
Yeah, everyone.
Home of the Blues.
Yeah.
All these fucking teams.
But have you guys heard? You've heard the True North when they do it. It's insane, and that's.
I haven't been to a Canadian hockey game in a few years.
Okay, a Winnipeg Jets game when they do it, when they
Yeah.
yell True North, because that is the ownership company of the Jets. So, a company has now like branded a national anthem, which
Good
is
for them.
amazing. But then also, as I was doing intense research on all of this,
Love that.
the Predators, when they're waiting for like a goal review or a reviewable call or whatever, that kind of stuff, they play the Beatles' Let It Be, and everyone in the stands puts up their phone with a light, like if they want the call to stand.
These games are turning into concerts now. It's like a multimedia experience.
It's like at the Island games. If you know the Rangers suck, clap your hands. That's, I mean, every stadium has
That sounds pretty lame, though.
When the
These people are getting an
it used to be-
entire
That's
stadium
why
with their
Tavares is-
lights
No.
up.
I'm telling you,
It's a bad. That's
when the whole place claps, everyone knows the Rangers sucks.
Johnny
It used to be
That's a pretty easy one.
It used to be
What are they
the
doing?
chicken dance. It used to be the chicken dance. I don't want to be a chicken. I don't want to be a duck. The Rangers suck.
I like that one better. That one's better.
These are pretty
is getting
basic.
weird.
This is pretty basic songs.
Listen,
pretty
we
weird.
had like 8,000 people come to these games.
All right.
We're all going
It's like
fucking
you and your
nuts.
buddies did that shit.
Yeah, I may have started it.
Okay, bring it back to hockey. Question: could this be the end of the Vegas Golden Knights in this series,
No.
or the Sharks for real this year?
I think we know the Sharks are for real. They have had a great season. They swept their first round just as well. I've been rooting against Vegas just because I keep saying, not rooting against them because I don't like them. I'm rooting against them because I don't think it's possible that what they're doing is going to hold up. And I keep saying at some point they're going to just falter. It's just what is supposed to
It's just
happen.
real life.
The first team, their first year, they're not supposed to come in and do this well. And at some point, it's like if you're a betting man, you're going to bet against a team that shouldn't be doing something. The odds are against them. So do I think that this is a little slip up? I don't know. This could be their time.
They're against the Sharks, so then sometimes the Sharks are a team that like
the
goes
Blues West.
and then
Yeah, but it's like
they are
if I
always
had
the
to
bridesmaid.
If I had to choose one thing that the odds are against, I'm going to choose that the Sharks this year are just going to get it done.
I
As
have a
opposed to
You think the
Vegas.
Sharks win the Stanley Cup?
No, I think that they get this series done and
Okay.
get through to the conference
Then lose to
finals.
the Jets. Do you
Yeah.
think, how long will it be before like the odds on or the house wins or like before we start talking about Vegas Knights and like that's what it's like, oh, no pun intended every time. Like, do you think in 10 years
just
we'll
too
be able
hard
to
in
be
the
like,
first year.
The
It's-
odds on favorite. You know what I
And
mean?
they're
it's
calling
like-
themselves the Golden Misfits. How are they
Yeah.
supposed to be?
Oh
the
yeah. By the
favorites?
way, buy this shirt, Golden Misfits.
There you go.
I would say too.
Any of the other ones are all fake and weirdly trademarked, and they're gonna get sued, but not us.
Well,
That
Yeah,
one.
definitely not us. We only use 2 of the logos in the logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that sword.
I think shout out to Tomas Hertl playing great hockey right now, tying that game up even though they lost, and Logan Couture getting to the net, and last night as well playing great. This was a bad look for California hockey stigma last night. It was like 3-0 in
Yeah.
the third. It's that
And it's a
boring
late,
camera
late
angle.
game.
I literally fell asleep watching
Yeah.
the game, and I feel like that's
It's
like
tough.
disrespectful to say. I brought the laptop in bed. I'm like, oh, I'll watch.
That's why you put a lottery draft in the middle of the game. to
Right.
help.
It was like,
you
oh,
going.
it's enough out of reach that they're probably not going to come back, but it wasn't really exciting. Snooze fest for the third. But
Right.
shout
All right.
out to the Ducks.
Well, another
Or
team.
Sharks.
Yeah. Shout out to the Ducks. Go Anaheim
Fucking
Ducks.
Tom
Hopefully you're having
This
a
is
good
where we
time.
can talk about concussion issues. I'm not even kidding.
No, it's real. I mean, I've had concussions playing hockey too, so
Yeah, it's actually bad.
yeah, it's not good. Also not good, Bruins dropped the game. They did not play well last night against Tampa Bay. Tampa wins 4-1. And let's go to RA for breakdown of that.
Hey, healthy scratches, paint me like one of your French girls. RA here. I got yuck mouth and a fucking tequila hangover. That's what the Bruins did to me last night. And that's why I'm pulling a PFT with fucking sunglasses / Donnie. Dude, you can't fucking win playoff games when you get one fucking even strength goal. You know, Tampa threw their best punch last night, and the Bruins weren't even fucking close to answering it. It was bad. They got an early jump, and fucking Tuca didn't do nothing wrong. You know, poor Grizz fucking puck blew up on his stick and 1 goal, and then it fucking snowballed. But it could have been a 6-0 game had it been not for Tuukka. So I'm not hearing that garbage. Bruins fucking got outplayed. They got out hustled. They got outworked. They got out fucking everything. They didn't deserve. They didn't deserve to win. So whatever. They're down 2-1. Biggest game of the year, Friday night. Oh, dude, that's playoff flu kicking in. So yeah, man, they sucked last night. They didn't deserve to win. 1 goal, even strength. No goals, fucking 5-on-5. You're not gonna win like that. Garbage game, garbage performance. Fucking clean it up, Boston. Friday, game 4. See you there. Peace, motherfucker.
All right.
Jesus Christ, man.
What is happening,
Every time
buddy?
he's like a shapeshifter. Every time I see another video of him, he's a new person.
Yes.
One day he's in a dungeon, the next day he's in like Osama bin Laden's cave.
Yeah.
The next day he's on a bed saying, "Paint me like one of your French girls."
That's a great line.
He's like one of those, like The Sims or something, where you can change the character all the time. He's like, every time he's got a different garb.
Looked like he had a bit of a rough night, too.
Yeah, he's tweeting last night that he was at the bar.
As expected, because I think on Spit and Chicklets they like to say shit pump season.
Ooh.
Tampa Bay shit pumped the Bruins last night.
Yeah.
Maybe not like a 7-0 deficit, but the fact is that they went up with 3 goals in the first period and they never looked back. They were like, they hunkered down. They put their fucking balls on the ground. They're like, you are not getting in.
No.
You're not coming in. You are not getting 1 goal into this net after that period, after we've taken our lead. Once we take our lead, game's over, and that's exactly what they
That's
did.
the danger with Tampa Bay right now, with McDonough, Hedman, Strawman. Like,
They
they're
are
loaded.
so stacked.
They couldn't get in. They couldn't get into the zone. Like Tampa Bay was just like, every time you tried to approach them on the blue line, they stopped it and they went the other way. It was a neutral zone hockey. That was the whole game.
Exactly. When they got McDonough, it was like when you can play 4 D-men for the majority of the game, 40 to like maybe even 50 minutes of the game. Yikes, that's going to be very hard to break.
You see that Brad Marchand when he bent down, Dan Girardi just...
I mean, that's classic. That's Marchand. He's going to do that. I mean, it's an annoying move, but like every time you go to hit him, then you can't hit him as hard.
It's pretty sad for the Bruins to drop a game at home. Like, you hate to see that,
I mean, Tampa dropped one at home too, but the thing is, it's like, with that decor, when they can just lean on them, if you go up early like that, they just shut the door and there's no chance they're getting back.
I know you're probably rooting against the Bruins because they've destroyed your hopes and dreams for all these years.
Straight down the middle journalist broadcaster
Well,
here.
aside from that, I don't think
Yeah.
that this we can't agree, and there's no way that this is like the same as the Vegas series where there is a chance that maybe Vegas can slip up. The Bruins are still the better team, don't you?
Not at all. I don't think that's a given at all.
You don't
I
think
think
so?
they're a great team in a very tough test for the Lightning, but I don't think they're the better team.
I mean, I could see this one going the distance too, but I think Tampa is very
Tampa is an unbelievable team. We talked about it. They got Ryan McDonough, they have Victor Hedman, they got
that
Stamkos
fourth
going
line,
crazy.
Frankie. This is something I'm glad you brought up. That fourth line with Callahan, Kunitz, Paquette. Those dudes are like veteran. Obviously, Paquette's younger, but like Callahan, a former captain for one of your favorite teams.
Yep.
Kunitz is a guy that's won 4 fucking cups.
Yeah,
like
fourth line.
talk about experience.
Wasn't Chris Kunitz in the trade for Ryan Whitney?
Great trade for the Penguins.
So the Penguins get rid of that fucking muppet Ryan Whitney, and then they go on to have a dynasty.
Tough luck for the
that
Ducks
was the
to make
turning
that deal.
point.
I mean, if you're the Anaheim Ducks GM, it's like, what were you
I
thinking
remember the
there?
articles
Bob
being
Murray.
like,
What was he thinking?
Pittsburgh Penguins steal one.
That's a tough one.
That's tough. When you look back, it's hard to swallow. But I'm just saying, they have so much skill. Braden Point's a guy that is now getting a little bit shiny at 4 points in game 2.
Yeah.
On every goal he had a point.
He's incredible.
They got Tyler Johnson and Palat, the two of the
your young
triplets
guys
that like
are-
were also studs. It's like you look down the roster, I would never say that. And their decor, I think, is arguably better than Boston as well.
It's just that first line on Boston when they get going, I feel like there's nothing
Oh,
like
but
it.
that's
I know
so much-
Kucherov
But so much of their success is due to, like, it has to be that line clicking
But
and
their
them
first
going.
line is producing on a level
But
that we've
look,
never
when
seen
they
before. That's the
didn't,
only
when that
reason.
line
Not
didn't
last night.
produce, back to that last series against rest in peace, the Leafs.
They
Leafs
were in the
beat,
playoffs.
Yeah, Leafs beat them when that line was not clicking.
Right, but the point is, now they're in a hole, and I think Tampa's just so loaded. Also, Vasilevsky's playing great.
Yeah.
Like
He's
and Tuukka's not playing
he's
bad
huge.
either, but it's like Vasilevsky's making plays on top of them being a loaded team. I think Boston could be in trouble. And I'm not doubting them, but I think they're in a much tougher test than the Leafs, no offense.
All right, tough test. This was in Russia, this Russian hockey team, and Slovakia. Some young guys, I want to say.
Slovakia.
Why?
No, it's one of my favorite Canadian words, Slovakian.
How would you say it?
Slovakia.
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 But I like that way better. I'm just
Slovakia.
saying.
Yeah, it's the A. The A sounds a little weird.
Yes,
you
it
know?
does.
Slovakia.
And the O. So this was like a crazy ongoing brawl that happened. Like these guys basically start fighting each other, and it's a classic
Love
fight.
it.
And then I think the next progression is bench clearing brawl, and then the Russian team leaves.
Then we're fighting coaches. We
Coaches.
got parents yelling. The whole 9
They
yards.
come, so they leave. The Russian team leaves, and then they come back because one random dude from the Slovakia team's like chirping them. So they come back. They end up fighting again. Then even after the Slovakia team so the Russian team wins, then they start fighting again. Slovakia team leaves. They're even chirping them through the glass.
There's nothing
Classic.
better.
I like seeing this.
It's like a minor hockey rite of passage. If you haven't been in a line brawl at some point during your youth hockey experience up to juniors, you've missed out because there's nothing like it. It's mayhem. It's like a movie 300 when the battlefield's 360, you're just guys everywhere. I've been in maybe 2, and the one I remember the most, they had this 6'7" D-man. And it was just he was Chara, there's people punching him, he fell down. It's literally just like a war.
Wow.
And then guys from the bench getting in, and I'll tell you what, there's nothing better. Obviously these guys didn't have it because it was after the game. Being in the box with 7 dudes when there's too many guys to fit in the box. One of the most fun things in my entire life that I don't know will ever happen again because it's you don't realize it at the time. When you're 16, it's fun. Now that doesn't really happen unless there's police being called.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from a brawl like this in Russia versus Slovakia is that fight did not end when the game was over.
Oh,
no
no.
chance.
That fight continued on and may even continue into a
Parking
war.
lot.
You don't
They said the cops were called too.
Russia and Slovakia getting in a fight on the ice turns into a war.
was
I think Putin finds out about it and he's like, what the fuck's going on?
He comes in, brings the brass knuckles.
When you have a fight like that in a local Russian versus Slovakia game, there's dogs released on people as they're walking to their car.
And it's a series, a 7-game series. That was game 1. They're gonna go to the locker room, probably fight in the lobby.
Someone's gonna be
It was
murdered.
only one period too, I think. Or
Someone
something
does
like
not
that.
show up for the
done.
next games because they just got murdered.
There's some great line brawls, obviously, in history, and I was just, you are reminded of some of these. We had talked about it earlier in the playoffs when the Penguins and the Flyers went at it. I love when the coaches go at each other.
The Blues too.
Yeah.
I believe it was Blues Blackhawks. Some of those were ridiculous. My
Islanders,
buddy's
Penguins.
dad, Paul
Yeah.
Cavallini, mopping people up. A lot of those. A lot of great
Islanders,
line brawls over the
Penguins.
years.
My boy DiPietro got his fucking face caved in by the other goalie. I can't think of the Penguins goalie's name. Oh my god.
That's
year
the
was it,
CTE
Tebow?
getting him
No, it was
too. That's the
2000,
concussion status
oh
over
my
there
God.
too.
2000 what?
Oh my god, I can't remember.
It's all right.
It wasn't Fleury. It wasn't.
No, it was
Didn't Jocelyn
it was,
Tebow
this was
play
it was
for them?
no, but he got hit right in the face. And he was out for the half the season.
Ty Conklin?
No.
We'll
look
figure it out.
We'll
The
look it up.
answer will be at the bottom right now.
There's a video of it too. DP gets his fucking face knocked in.
All right.
His goalie on
Was
goal
Sign
fight.
Kid there?
Of course I was there.
Of course.
That had to be tough to swallow.
Yeah,
right?
for Sign Kid.
one of the
and
worst moments of my
you're
life.
done.
Did you cry?
Probably. I was young.
Be honest, Frank. Did you cry?
I probably cried.
Yeah, you just
cried.
texting during the show.
No, I leaned back. I thought this was the
No,
end.
we're not done until
Brent Johnson.
Brent
that's who it
Johnson.
was.
Brent Johnson.
That is who it is.
That
you're
is
right.
who it was. Brent Johnson.
Nice.
I actually was about.
Brent
I thought I was going to
Johnson.
sneak in a search. That's what you caught me.
All right.
Oh, I like that.
We
I like
only
that.
know when the show's done when.
See, I tried to get ahead of it. I don't want to do this.